Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm doing this dance to celebrate our new ship. I'm going to go ahead and turn my jetpack and HUD back on. So, I did this work off camera because you knew what I was doing anyway, so I didn't think there was any point making you watch me grind for hours. This is our new, basically, grinding ship, welding ship, whatever it needs to be, because now... Oh, I need to turn it into a ship actually. Now, how do you do that? I haven't done it ever. Convert to ship. Great. That looked bad. So, I've actually already pressed the convert to ship button and nothing is happening. So, I don't really know what to do about that. Well, actually, those two thrusters aren't even working. I'm going to find out what's wrong with these thrusters. So I think I might have found the cause of the problem. So I convert this back to a ship, but it's not moving. And I think that might be because these parts are still part of the ship. Are no longer part of the ship, but they're still attached. Because I accidentally cut them off, so I'll have to re-grind them. The thrusters at the bottom, I mean, they're still attached to the ship, but not attached to the ship. I think they're clipped into it, and maybe we'll get some explosions here when we do this. Yeah, look, they were still attached. When we grind them off, they move a lot. And I'm guessing they were so close to the ship that the ship couldn't move without intersecting them, so it thought it was pushing with very little speed against something very stationary. Interesting problem to have had to solve, but now we can put on the thrusters and the ship will be working properly. Properly, not probably. Well, it'll probably work, but also I think it definitely will work because, you know, it's got ticked all the boxes. Let's just shove these wherever, basically. Okay, we should now have a new ship that works. It's definitely moved, so it's no longer a station. Okay, yeah, it's not actually that. I was thinking it would be very difficult to maneuver. It's certainly not got enough power. 20 minutes fuel time. Well, and that's going to happen. There's no batteries or anything. Let's probably turn around so that it doesn't float off. It's great. It's really maneuverable. Maybe that's not a good thing for what we want it for. Because it was previously like a pursuit ship, it's got a ton of engines on the back that I didn't bother taking off. Looks a bit weird. I'm going to call it the barge because it really does look like a trash barge. Let's stick the stuff on the front then. So we need a load of grinders because I'm going to use this to grind the rest of the red ship. All the valuable parts, but I guess anything because this ship should be able to do it. Okay, there you go. Something like this. Makes it look a bit monstrous actually. And maybe we won't have the resources to complete all of these right now, but we should get them eventually. So I'm going to stick these on and see if we can just complete a whole arm. I've also put a light on the front because that will help me to tell how close we are to anything we're grinding. Okay, so far we've had enough resources for all of the grinders on the left side. I'd like to get the right side in as well, but if we can't, at least now we'll be able to pull out resources from the big ship fairly conveniently. I think we just ran out of the resources we need for these. So to complete these, I think we basically need motors and computers. We should be able to go get these. Are these all certainly finished? Tell you what, since we have this big grinding ship, let's go use it to grind. Gonna have to be careful with those big engines. It's so easy to just move too far forward. Okay, all the left grinders are on. I figured since that they're divided into two sides, I may as well leave them as two sides. Like, that way I can activate and deactivate them as needed if we don't need both sides. See how quickly it eats through this. Not bad. Better when we have both, though, obviously. Okay, we should have motors pretty soon. I've ground down some of the red ship in the time when I was building that ship. Building the barge. So that's why there's some components missing. Let's check whether we're picking up some motors. Yeah, we have. We've got 16 motors. Not really enough, though. Not much stuff left that's of value in this ship apart from basically steel plates. Give me a second to remember the name. Okay, let's leave and see if that's going to be enough for at least a few more grinders. Oh, actually, there's some more. There's another one here. All done. So there is just one more thing I'm going to do. So I talked about the fact that these engines make it a difficult ship to pilot in some ways, and I'm going to grind off some of the engines at the back, just maybe one or two, because after testing out on that ship for a second, it's so easy, like far too easy to just ram your ship into what you're trying to grind. So I'm going to grind off maybe one engine on each side. Okay, that should make my life a little bit easier. Let's leave this here. and get back in this. I'm going to fly this around to the front, and I guess we'll start there and see what we can do. Should also be conscious of the fact that there is a minefield around here and not drive into it. Okay, it grinds down really fast, but it's hard to get. I think maybe because the blocks are also not exactly where they look, it's hard to get it in the most accurate position to do all the grinding work it needs to do. It's actually the perfect size and shape to get inside of this ship and do its work. We look like we're being swallowed by a giant fish. Like, it looks like we are being eaten, but really we're eating this fish. I think, oh, well, it's not a fish, it's a spaceship. They're all spaceships. None of these things are fish. This has been the most recent episode of Which Things Are Fish with Gesture of None. Yeah, there are fish that do that, though. They climb into other fish's mouths and bite on the tongue, and then I think they, well, maybe it's just one species of... Fuck me! We just lost a grinder. I guess we hit a bomb. Well, that's okay. We're still functional. I'll put that back on at some point. That's annoying, though. That's a lot of resources to go. I'm going to pull out. Turn these two off. I'm going to very cautiously pull out. Yeah, and we're going to go from the bottom. Because there's less mines, I think. And also, it's less jagged. This ship's function, though, is not actually specifically to grind. It's mostly for when we want to build a new ship, the one we're going to use to escape. We need a way of putting it together without having to walk through the whole ship and get components and so on, because it'll be really slow if we do it in a small ship. So, did we just lose something else? No, we didn't. Just a weird explosion. So yeah, this is mostly for that. It's mostly for when we build our other ship, but also for taking apart the ships we pick up, which we will then use to put together the new ship. We'll also use this to take apart our base when we leave. No sense leaving space junk, but also that would be silly to leave so many resources behind. The advantage of having the two grinders being set to different buttons, maybe it's a bit mundane, but it means that because we're currently just well in the middle and it would take a while, I've just turned one side off, saves power. You know, we've got 3 days of power when we're just grinding. It's not actually that much, but it's not bad. We're not going to be caught unaware by power, I think. And here's where I do a hard cut to when we are caught unaware of power. Unaware of our own power. Our lack of power. Unaware of our power, so it makes it sound like we're going to suddenly become gods. And you never know, that thing happens from time to time. Just to automate the process a little bit, I've set a thruster at the back to be constantly pushing a tiny amount. And I've put a toggle on the home bar for that. But it's just mean that we can go a little bit more easily. And that I can actually get out the ship and fly around and make sure everything's okay. Like, for example, these... I'm worried about the bashing that these guys are taking. So I'm going to come in and just weld them up a little bit. I've been thinking of some changes to make to our automated grinder over there. Even though we're not going to use it, I still want to play with it. And I was thinking that it would be cool to put some sensors there and just have the sensors turn on the extension when they sense small ships, and then turn off the extension when they sense a large station. That way they'll automatically push towards any small ship that's in front of them, but they will stop as soon as they detect that they were within range of grinding our big ship, our station rather. There you go, I can turn these off and I'll turn the thrust off and we'll pull out a bit. Because we can go from another angle now. We should be able to pull out with no problem because they've ground out all the areas, but just in case there's been a bump, I'm going to go very cautiously. I'm going to go from another side because then we can get some more interior plates, which we're sort of lacking in. There's a Spartan heavy frigate flying in. Yeah, frigate. Another military word, that. I think we might have even seen this ship before, or at least seen it flying through our airspace. Well, this isn't really our airspace, we're just kind of trapped here. But I don't want to... I want it, but I don't want it. I want it... Okay, it's not actually at all that I don't want it. I do want it. I don't want to die. Or lose our ship, or anything like that. Obviously, we wouldn't be going and getting it in this ship. We'd be using the Little C, which is kind of ready to go and exactly what we designed him for. But, oh, I don't know. Difficult question. Tell you what, let's go take a look. I'll leave you floating there. Where's our station, hey? Is it over here? Where the hell's our station? Oh, it's there. I must have looked in every other direction. So, Little C is parked over here. I'm going to go ahead and put the weapons in the toolbar. I don't know whether I'll be using them. If I can blow a hole that we can get access to with our ship, or even just with ourselves, that we won't get shot in, like fly Clyde in there, try and survive crashing into the ship, and then get on the inside of the ship and take over, I would totally sacrifice Little C to do that. Because honestly, Little C, his job is only to get us a couple of ships, and one ship I will totally take. In terms of resource usage, that would be a very efficient trade. If this is a very big ship. If it's a very small ship, then it probably won't be a big deal. I'm just going to turn my HUD off so I can see. It looks promising from here, but I don't know. We're getting to the point where we should see guns. I haven't got cameras, but I can't zoom in. I wish I had. Maybe that's something we should add to Clyde. Or Little C, sorry. I guess we can call him Clyde. Oh, that looks like a... Ooh, that looks like an interesting thing. Ah, it looks very interesting. Has it got guns, though? It has got guns, but it looks like it's only got one gun. Oh, no, there's more guns, and there's rocket launchers, but there's no guns on the back. Having a hard time getting away here. Okay. We are alive, but limping a little bit. Yeah. I'm going to get out and fix some stuff. So after the amount of damage we took, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe we can fly by and see, but I really don't think we're going to make any progress against this guy. He's got a ton of guns. Fire some rockets anyway. But I really don't see us winning this battle. Yeah, look at those guns. I mean, I'm happy to exhaust my whole supply of rockets on him. Takes a second to reload them. Okay, it worked. It worked. We have access to him. Not the best access, but I mean, we're there. This guy has a lot of guns. The gravity on this is unhelpful. Okay, they've seen Clyde. Clyde is dead. Let's try and grind through to the inside. I can hear them destroying Clyde. It's sad, but, you know, he deserves it. He doesn't deserve it. No one deserves that. The horrors that they've inflicted on him. Okay, we're making it through. Tried to turn my jetpack off, but I just fell. If we can get this ship, it was totally worth it to sacrifice Clyde. Okay, this is just the outer ring. Are there any guns on the inside that will shoot us? It doesn't look like it. I think we can fly into the inside without any danger. I think. That guy's still active. I assumed he disconnected. He looks like he's disconnected. Why hasn't he disconnected? He's definitely moving. I can't believe that worked. I can't believe we got in. You know what we can do? I wonder. We can weld this guy back up. Access the control panel. Oh, we can't control it from here. I thought we might be able to control it. Well, anyway, let's move on. I think, like I said, I think we can fly down without being shot at. Because the other gun that shoots personnel, is on the other side. Okay, unfortunately we're on the wrong side of the gravity to work. Let's see how far we can get, because this represents a lot of resources, because we just blew Clyde to get this. If we can get into the cockpit, that would be ideal. I'm just worried about coming within range of another gun. It's going to take us a while to grind through. I'm just nervous of the possibility of interior guns. There's a hole here that looks suspiciously like that's where they're telling us to enter. I'm going to go for here, and what we'll do is, as soon as we have the opportunity to see that there are guns, we will go around the other side, underneath them, and grind out the blocks they're stood on. But it might not work. I'm also worried that there might be the ship might be airtight, so, well, I'm assuming it is. So when we grind this away, I don't want it blown away, so I'm going to let it fly that way. It takes a long time to ground down our heavy armour. There's also going to be panels coming out of this because I have not got the inventory space for 400 steel plates. Yeah, there they go. I think If that wasn't, the outside block wasn't airtight, this must be the airtight block. Oh, we've ground down right on top of a door, which makes me very nervous. Okay, that's towards the front of the ship. I'm going to go inside first, because it looks less dangerous. Ah, my suit energy's low. I have an idea. Okay, we might actually be able to build a cockpit here, but I'm not confident of our ability to build this cockpit before we run out of energy. So I'm going to fly around the front and, whoops, try not to go too far because then we'll get shot by the guns on the top. I'm almost certain there are guns on the top. Let's grind out this window. Actually, I'll empty my inventory first, then we can put the window back in. I know it's a waste of components, but we're in kind of a dire situation. There's the airlock going. Okay, let's flip over and put this window in. A little bit hard to see where the edges are. Okay, it's there. Okay, now we have air tightness again. I can take off my helmet and charge in this seat. And actually now we can look at the ship and see where everything is. There are guns on the back door, so we want to be careful of that. There are guns everywhere, so we want to be careful of that. It looks like there's some flight seats in the middle there and 2 guns. We might be able to grind through the bottom, but to do that we'd need to get rid of this gun. Oh, that we have got rid of that gun, so we could actually go around the bottom, but it's more important to stop the ship for now. I was wondering, since we've got access to energy and oxygen, we have the time to try and get in somewhere else and maybe find the cockpit. I'm also going to try the back of the ship, because we are getting kind of in a dangerous position without finding the cockpit now. We need to find the cockpit before the ship despawns, or build a cockpit. We need to find or build a cockpit before the ship despawns. Okay, we have access to, oh, an area with guns. Okay, there's a gun in there too. Oh, that's the back door. Oh, we don't need to go through there. So we're gradually narrowing down the locations on the ship. I think then this is probably the cockpit because it's so thick. And we've seen that there's 2 rooms either side of this that don't have cockpits in them. This does not appear to be the right room. I'll check another room, but there's so many rooms on this ship. And they're so deadly. Everything's deadly. Why is everything deadly? It does seem to be like a capital ship. Like, it does seem to be quite a dangerous ship. So I understand that it's all deadly. That's towards the back. So this is the front. Oh, there's doors there. Let's try up here and hope for... Oh, what's down here? Okay, these are the reactors. So if all else fails, we can grind out all of those reactors and then we should be okay. No, because there's another giant reactor there. I like the way it's displayed though. Isn't that cool? I mean, whoever built this ship is a very good designer. Let's try and go up top through here. I have faith. We'll find the cockpit eventually. I only grounded the conveyors because firstly, if guns are attached to it, we can kill the guns immediately. But also because... Is that a gun or a cockpit? I think that's the cockpit. We found the cockpit. There's nothing else? Okay. There is a gun and a cockpit. So, we need to go up through the floor here and take this gun out. What's behind these catwalks? Because it implies they're valuable. Okay, look, we need to go up through this interior wall and take out this gun. It might even be on this block. It is! We're about to destroy this gun. It's dead now, right? It's not connected to anything. Right? Right? You're dead, right? I mean, it's still moving, which makes me so nervous. Well, it's not shooting us, so I'm going to take this opportunity to grind it down anyway. Just in case, maybe it counts as touching the sides of the ship, and so it's got power. I don't know. I'd hate to be in the cockpit and have a gun behind me. Okay, any more guns? I'll handle you guys exactly the same way. It doesn't appear... Well, there is a giant machine gun pointed at us there. I wonder if it'll shoot through its own ship to get to us. I don't know if that'll shoot at us. I'm going to try and get in this cockpit. I forgot we have to grind it down first. Oh, we're in such a delicate position. Okay, we're through the computer layer, so we should be able to sit in it now once we've filled it back up. Fingers crossed. Are we being shot at by that giant gun? It's pointed at us very eagerly. Wow, that's nerve-wracking. This is not the main cockpit! No. Will it shoot at us? I mean, I'm guessing going to find out. No, it won't shoot through its own ship. This better be the main cockpit. Okay. We've got access. Here's what I'm thinking. This ship, we can't bring it anywhere near our ship while it's all active. Like, if we take it anywhere near our station, it's going to destroy it. So, we have two options. Go through the ship and very slowly, methodically grind out every block underneath every single gun, or use up its power, or grind down all of its reactors. It'd take a full hour of me holding down these keys, spinning it to try and use up its power, so instead I'm going to go and try and grind down the reactors. Because I think that's the only safe way of destroying this ship. I bet, though, there are guns. I'm gonna grind through. Or can I grind up? Let's grind this block. Oh yes, there was. Oh, that's perfect. I'm certain this guy can't shoot at us. Like, but he still follows us. The creepiest thing. Dead guns shouldn't follow. Okay, I'll leave that one like that. I bet there's another one here on the other side. Okay, neither of these guns are active now. So, what remains is to check for more guns. If there's guns there, I bet there are guns down there. Or in other places. Not active. Good. And here? Okay, there's a door there. So let's make a start on grinding this down. Okay, that's one reactor offline. This ship still has gravity, so it's still got power. I'm going to go via the bottom to get the other ones. That's 2 reactors down. 3 reactors down, actually. Okay, 2 more here. Okay, there's 1 reactor left, I think. While we still have power, we need to go and sit in a flight suit because our energy is running low. Up, 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 wrong way, didn't go that way. Okay, that was the wrong way. I picked the wrong direction. It happens sometimes. So long as it didn't die, that's fine. It's up. It's up, not down. Okay, the ship is out of power, so the guns should be too, and now we can make this ship ours. It was hard fought, but we deserve it. I might go and do all the grinding to get this sorted out off camera, because it's just going to be the same thing you've just seen me do for an hour. I have to escape first, though. Where's my exit? It's down here. Yeah, I've got to grind off all the guns, which means grinding all the doors down. But now this thing's a wreck. We should be completely safe. There's gun 1. Here's another big gun. And another one here. Okay, claimed another gun. One more. And these 2 pesky guns by the back door. Okay, the back door guns are handled. That one up there should be ours. I didn't get the one on top. Okay. That must be all the guns. No, not this one either. That must have been all the guns. I guess there's a way we can check. We just access a control panel. Okay, there's a few things left. A rocket launcher. There's a few things left on the outside. There's at least 1 rocket launcher. And there's loads of interior turrets. I'm going to go through and just make sure. There's 2 turrets on the back, I think. Let's see if I've got on this one. That seems to be all the exterior turrets. Yeah, the interior ones can wait because we have access to the cockpit. So I'm going to go back inside, reactivate 1 reactor, and we're going to coast home. I turned all the reactors back on, and every single turret fired. So I'm going to turn those turrets off. Okay, I've set a very slow course to home, and I'm going to turn on the reactors, or rather the... actually, I can just turn off the reactors. I'm going to turn on the reactors and the thrusters back on when we are close enough. I don't want to crash, but we shouldn't blow up our own station now, which is great. Like, it's one of my favourite outcomes for this situation. So we lost Little C. Maybe we'll name this guy Big C as a, like, you know, in his honour, his memory, because this is definitely an upgrade from Little C. Won't help us capture any ships though, because it's just too big. My character's about to die. And hopefully, like before he dies of oxygen starvation, I can stop this ship, and I will definitely do that. But I'd like to get it close beforehand. I'm just crossing my fingers, basically. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're almost there, but we're also almost out of fuel. So I've turned on the inertial dampeners, just double check there, so that if we die, it'll stop eventually. But let's try and stop it close. That's not great. The turret just flew off, which is fine, I guess. I wasn't going to use it anyway. I really like to stop. I know my health is low. So we're dead, but this guy's stopping, so that's fine. Okay, I'm going to pick up some uranium, because we still have a little bit left, and go and fly out there. I won't take all the uranium that's in our ship, but I will take some of it. And there's also some uranium still in this. Okay, and we'll fly out in the baby bird of prey. It's crazy to be flying up to this ship without worrying about being shot, because it's such an imposing ship. I'm going to land the baby bird of prey here, next to this giant gun. And let's go put this uranium in the inventory. Oh, I should get my stuff back. Well, I don't need the rest of that, really. So, a part of this ship is actually broken. I keep landing on the ship and touching, maybe clipping with the wrong thing, and just dying. Like, flat out dying, not caused by anything. It's very strange. So, I'm not sure what to do, because there's a ton of uranium inside here now, inside of one of my dead bodies, that we can't access. I'm wondering if perhaps there was an error that like makes the game think that we're still moving at very high speeds when really we're basically stopped. So I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm going to do the same thing with this ship as I did with the last ship. I'm going to turn it into a station, and then I'm going to grind it down. This ship is going to take so long to grind down, I'm going to do the majority of it not in the Let's Play. We flew dangerously close to our station. For a second there, I thought that we'd like caused our station to dislodge. We need to fix the problem that's causing us to die in this ship. Okay, I've brought it into what is essentially docked, and I'm going to use some components to build a merge block on each of these and do the exact same thing we did on last ship. For the sake of complete clarity, I'm gonna, like, complete clarity and openness, I'm gonna just mention there's been a couple of times while getting this ship that I've died through like a bullshit way. Like you hit the wrong corner of a voxel, just as I'm doing right now in this ship. I don't know why it happens, but it's happening. You hit the wrong corner of a voxel and suddenly you are dead with no explanation. And in those cases, I've just reloaded the last save. Maybe some people will think that's cheating. I don't consider it cheating. I would consider it cheating if, for example, I did it because I messed up. But in the cases where it's happened like almost inexplicably, in those cases I always just save and reload. You know, I'm doing everything I can to play the game in the way it should be played, sensibly, and in a way that's not cheating. But it is still an alpha, no beta. I'm not sure what stage it's at now, but it is still under development. So I understand that stuff like that happens. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying so that no one ever feels like I'm not sharing properly. I did save and reload on the times when I had those bullshit deaths. Okay, merge blocks are done. I'm going to go in and connect these two. It's incredibly hard to see the front of this ship because the cockpit's so far back.
Ship fuel critical.
Well, that's just great. It blew up our merge block. The mass of this ship was so great that when we tried to merge, it just exploded. Okay, let's go for a second attempt. I think the problem was probably that the merge block was surrounded by stuff and all that stuff tried to connect but couldn't, perhaps? I'm not really sure. It just blew up and that happens sometimes. God, it's kind of ominous, isn't it? Rising over the station, it's like a reaper. I realise ship fuel is critical. It's very critical. It's like the most important thing on your ship. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, there's a third one on. A third use of resources. This time I'm going to be constantly reversing. Trying to ease it in. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know what? We're going to take the ship apart without using a merge block because it keeps exploding. So let's get to work on this. I'm going to cut through a lot of it because it'll take a while, but there are so much more valuable resources on this ship than there are on the red ship.
Fuel low.
This ship fuels were low too? Well, I know that actually. I took a bunch out. Let's see if I can get my fuel back because I don't know if my body will have disappeared yet, but if it hasn't, there's a lot of stuff there that's very valuable. Yeah, I think my body's disappeared. If I die, it'll be right here. I think this is where I died with the fuel. Yeah, all the fuel's gone. Well, it's to be expected. That is a real shame because that was like 90% of our uranium. So, that's 90% of our uranium gone due to a programming error. Oh well.
Fuel low.
We will deal with it. I mean, that's what this series is about. Resource scarcity.
Ship fuel.
You know, I think I'm going to convert this ship rather than taking it apart and using it to make our own ship. It's so big and so well suited. I think we can actually just use this as our escape ship. We need to add loads of we need to add oxygen generators and batteries and solar panels, but I think we can convert this warship into our ship of salvation, which is honestly quite nice. So yeah, I think this is going to be our salvation. So I'm thinking I'm probably not going to put all the effort in to grind off every single piece of the heavy armor and even get all the resources out of this ring that's around it. I'm probably just going to take this ring off. We don't need all of this capacity, we just need the center. Sorry about that, my hard drive filled up again and I lost footage again. I need to buy more hard drives. So I just ground off that side, that's all I did. Let's ground off the other side and we're going to lose this ring. But just before I ground off the last block to lose it, I'm going to take off anything valuable, like anything that looks really, really valuable. Oh, it might have actually been the footage I lost as well that I've converted this back to full grinders. Just to do this little intricate stuff we want to do here. I'm going to grab this radio before we lose it because the components could be useful. There we go. I think there's silicon in radio parts, but I'm not certain about that. We could definitely use some silicon though, but probably not as much as we could use some uranium, frankly. I don't know why this is happening, but my feet are sticking out the bottom of my cockpit, and I think that's wonderful. That's great. That's got some proper leg room. I'm a tall guy, and I need my leg room. That's wonderful. That's my favourite bug. Maybe that's always happened, I didn't know about it, but, well, I love it. God, full armour is the best incentive not to take over a ship, not because it's a hassle getting in, or a hassle to destroy, it's because it's a hassle to break down. Like, how would you ever process a ship like this unless you had a very big shipping yard with, like, one of those, like our automated grinders, but full size? Okay, I think there's one more bit. I'm just going to go in. I remember seeing that there were doors on the inside of these, because I think there might be some components in there that could be useful. There could also be guns, but we're not so far from our house that it, well, our base, that it would be a problem. Okay, there's the door off. I think, based on what I can see, it's just gyroscopes in here. I don't know why there was access. Well, there was also this hole we could have come through. I don't know why there's access if it's just gyroscopes. I assumed it was something you could interface with. But what are the components of gyroscopes? No, we don't need any of that stuff. We can get it all from better sources. That won't take hours. Okay, let's go around the other side and detach the last component. I think we'll call it there. It's been a long episode, a lot of stuff done. Just this left to do now. Yep. Oh, we're off. Okay, don't crash my ship. Okay, that was scary. Fortunately, I think our landing gear, which automatically locks, sometimes without me wanting it to, well, actually all the time without me wanting to, actually saved us there. Although it could have also made it more likely that we'd die because of the fact that we were trapped between a rock and a hard place. Let's move the ship out of the way of this thing, and then we'll just have... Oh, wow, did it do some damage there? May have done some limited structural damage. Wow. Cool. I'm going to move the ship. Should have moved our grindy ship. Too late, really, now? Might be okay. I'm going to jump out and move that next. Wherever it is. We're making it just in time to rescue it from this very slow collision. Okay, well, now this is detached, we will, I will remove this next episode. I might have to cut it in half and then push it off in different directions. If it sticks around, I will take the components out of it. If it doesn't, then we'll leave it. The main things I'm interested in here is grabbing all of these antennas that we don't need, and all the components that are inside of them. And then we're going to strip this thing down to the frame, take all of the components that have uranium in them, like, for example, the ammunition is a big one. Take off everything that we don't need, as much of the outer plating as we can, because it's very heavy. and then we're going to make this into our escape ship. So that'll be next episode. We'll be converting this to our escape ship. I will be grinding a lot of the components off and putting them onto the ship, because now we have the best alternative. But it might be a couple of episodes to do this, and then we'll get off, because we need to give it the ability to generate its own oxygen, and we need to give it the ability to generate its own fuel. Like, we need it to be a portable base, because we have to survive in the next place we go to, which will be a place with asteroids. So we need this to be the thing that allows us to build a base in future. Okay then, thank you very much for watching. This has been Gesture of None. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any ideas or suggestions or whatever you want to say, just leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.